Hello. Welcome to Xavier University's Center for Women in Business and the Xavier Leadership Center's Leading the Way Women in Business series. In this series, we're talking with women leaders on how they're navigating during this very unique time. Today's guest is Jill Meyer. Jill leads the Cincinnati, USA Regional Chamber, one of the largest metro chambers in the United States. There are over 4,000 member businesses across 16 counties in Southwest Ohio, Northern Kentucky, and Southeastern Indiana. Welcome, Jill. How are you today?
Thank you, Chrissy. I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I hear the sun's going to come out and summer is going to start soon.
That's what they're saying. I'm holding out hope.
Yeah, me too. Well, during these unique times, what are you doing to take care of you?
Well, I think we've all been both challenged and given some different time on our hands to take care of us. One of the things I keep telling people that it has been, when we all look back on this time, we're going to realize how much we've been blessed to get so much time with our families. For those who are fortunate enough to be with their families or have family around them. I'm home with my husband and our 7-year-old son, and we have never lived a life where we have dinner at the table every night together. And that's what we're doing. And we're playing games. And we're just sort of doing the things that I said families did when I was growing up, and they just don't do anymore because families are so programmed, but we're not overly programmed. And so we're spending time together. We're walking, we're playing, and just being a family.
Oh, that sounds lovely. That sounds lovely. With so much time at home, what have you been stocking up on that really surprises you that I really need this? That's not toilet paper.
That toilet paper thing is something I'll never figure out. Oh gosh, I don't know that I've been stocking up on anything so much as realizing where my comfort foods are. I will say that I didn't realize that chips and salsa were such an important part of my snacking habit. Comfort food has been one of those things. We always have a lot of pasta in the house, and we've been eating it and enjoying it, not just having backup. So I don't know. I'm not really stocking up on anything, but I think it's just noticing that I am gravitating toward those things that make me feel grounded and happy.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Now, leading, you've got 4,000 member businesses looking for you to be their advocate and to help guide the way. How are you leading during this coronavirus crisis?
It's been I would say, an evolution, Chrissy, and we've all lived through it. So, and we're still living through it, and we'll be living through it. But it's been one of those phases where you feel it changing at the same time that you feel the enormous pressure of each phase, where something different has to happen and you got to figure it out, and you got to figure it out quickly. So I will tell you that at the chamber, when we realized what was about to be upon us, so this is when people were still in their offices and starting to wonder, what exactly are we doing? We realized we had to completely pivot. And so shifting our work from what we have for 5 years now worked on, our 3 pillars of our work, we have totally shifted to a 2-prong focus, which is keep businesses alive and put people to work, period. And that entails lots of different work and lots of different, frankly, things that our team had to do, skill sets, insights, that this is what happens when you have a 7-year-old at home.
I think it's great. I think it's great. Let's say hello to your 7-year-old.
Say hi. Say hi to everybody. This is life at work at home. Say hi to Miss Farr.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
First day of summer break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, off you go. Get your clothes and go to Nana. Thank you, sweetie. Sorry about that. That's indicative of what we're all living right now.
You're leading the way through here, and you have children at home. That's normal. I'm so glad that we had a visitor.
Yeah, thank you. So we've had to completely shift what we were doing, actually what we were delivering for businesses, in recognition that 3 months ago, our businesses were beating on us to say, I need more talent. We need infrastructure. We're driving this momentum forward. And then it all stopped. And it became, we need cash. We need to understand how long this is going to last. We need information. We need to know what others are doing. And now we've gradually shifted through that to some of us now have, some of them have gotten cash from the government or banks or have worked out some other pieces. And now it's helping them put the pieces together so that they can physically open their doors, so that they can bring their employees back. So it's been phased, and it changes quickly, which is good, but it's a different way to lead, for sure.
You know, there are different ways to lead, as you said, and we rely on our soft skills so much. What is the one soft skill that you're really leaning into right now?
Well, this is, I'm not sure I consider it soft, but I would say the resiliency. Everything is a challenge right now, and it's from a leadership perspective. It's your own business, it's the people who are relying on you, it's your employees, it's your own systems. As I talked about, our own work has changed, and it's constant every day. And so I would say we talk all the time about the importance of being resilient and figuring out how to bounce back, but I think that has been amplified during this time period, that you have to be resilient in so many different ways and so quickly. So I think that's what I would land on right now, at least.
I like that. You're absolutely right. That resilience is so key. On the other hand, if you think about a business skill, a business acumen skill that you're relying on right now, more than typical hard skills, what are you really leaning into right now to navigate during this coronavirus crisis?
Yeah, there's so many of them that have been, you have to be focused on, we're at an organization where we're challenged financially too, just like everybody else who was impacted by immediate revenue. Our revenue stopped. And so you have to have your arms around operations, around your finances, like those core business pieces. You have to be so close to and appreciate every moving minute, dollar, question, all of that. But I think what I would say is from a hardcore business perspective, it would be decision making, the ability to take those moving pieces and make the decision and move forward, knowing that you've made the decision based on the best of the information you had right then. And it may or may not be the right one, and it's probably going to look a little bit different, but to just start making the decisions based on the information around you to know that you have to get to the next phase.
You talk about going to the next phase. Hindsight's always 2020. If the older, wiser you that's been through this already could go back to, the younger you, the mid-level career you, what advice would you give yourself?
I've said this in particular to women before, but I think I would say it more now, and it is to be at any time so close to the financials, and always, we now know this, right? We've learned a lifetime lesson, but we've always all planned kind of for the impossible, like what if 75% of that would never happen. And so while you went through the exercise, you really should live it. I suspect I don't have to tell people that now, because people will learn from this lesson. But I think that there's a piece of me in the past that I've been blessed to live and to grow in my career when times were fairly good, or, we've had some ups and downs, but I always just believed with a close enough understanding of the numbers that things would work out and that really bad thing would never really happen. I think we all have to understand where every dollar comes from, exactly the pieces it flows through, who touches them, what in the end of the day, what they are adding to the bottom line, to really to just know that intimately every day.
That is that's sage advice. Thank you so much for that. I think that's advice everybody can use. Looking forward, how will your business and your members be different post-pandemic?
How will they be different? Wow. Stark reality for us is that we know some of our members won't make it through this. That's the unfortunate just reality of the crisis. And so that's a challenge. I I do know that what we have seen, and I don't know the answer to this, but I'm watching. Speaking of resiliency, you have seen businesses pivot, go into some creative modes, figure out how to deliver their own business in a different way. You've seen people take the opportunity, whether they've been furloughed or had some downtime with work. You see people looking at the world a little bit differently right now, maybe appreciating what they have and what they actually want to contribute. I think we're just going to see a lot of, I say all of the time that businesses are not inanimate objects. Businesses are people. And I think that the impact this will have on people is going to show up in the business sector, whether it's that they'll deliver differently, that they'll continue to be better partners with one another instead of competitors in some capacity. The support, I've already talked to some business leaders who have said, we've understood the flexibility that our employees deserve. They needed to have it now, but it was never so apparent to us how stifling some of our practices and policies have been. And I think it's a real opportunity that I'm hopeful. I'm not sure how quickly this will happen, but as we rebuild, and as the businesses who have had to cut back and furlough and do layoffs, those companies will come back. We know we'll get through this. Lots of the companies are going to come back. But as they come back, I am encouraging and hopeful that they will rebuild their teams with an eye toward how do we really be superhuman about this and make our businesses places where people who have real lives and real hopes and real challenges can come and survive. So whether that's looking at policies, continuing to employ people who maybe they wouldn't have ventured down the path of employing different kinds of people, but they will now because they know we're all in this together. So it's a little bit of a mushy answer, but I think we're in a time that is, it's very human, all of this. And I think it has to show up somehow. And that's what I'm looking to see how much the businesses will seize the opportunity to make themselves more human.
I don't think that was a mushy answer at all. I think it was an authentic answer, very authentic answer. So thank you for that. A lot of people, as you said, in businesses are struggling right now. What's giving you hope?
You cut out on me there for just a minute, Chrissy. What's giving
you hope? What's giving
me hope? Well, maybe a repeat of the answer that I just said, but a different variety of it. When you think about how quickly this all landed on us and how quickly some employees and businesses knew that this was going to be trouble for them, how quickly other businesses and other people said, how can we help? So you had the COVID relief funds, you had the pieces of people understanding that the economics overall has to keep happening. And to know that an entire community, whether you measure it by 16 counties in an MSA or by your neighborhood, economics drives all of this. And so what gives me hope is that I've seen people engage in economics in a way that they haven't before. They were content to live in their piece of the world. And as long as things were okay for them, that was going to be okay. And now everybody's been pulled into the broader conversation of how does an economy actually work? And what does it take from every human being who lives within it to contribute? So it gives me hope that more people are, in fact, in tune with the importance of each of them on the overall health of a community.
Jill, what words of wisdom you have given us. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to share, you think we should know based on your experiences?
I don't think so. I like that you ended on hope, because we've been through a hard time. It's going to be harder. I mean, we're in for the sprint, and people need to reach in and find their inner stamina now with what's ahead. This is not going to get easier in the next 6 months, but there is hope. And so thank you for ending the conversation on that note, because that's where we all just have to keep ourselves and keep coming back to.
Well, Jill, thank you so much for, on behalf of Xavier University, and thank you so much for leading our tri-state community with the Chamber of Commerce. What you do is important work for all of our small businesses and medium businesses and even larger businesses, all of our businesses in this region. So thank you. And keep doing the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.